This is the Silva family. These are the parents of David Silva, and this is David's brother, Christopher Silva. The parents aren't going to be taking any questions today because just having them here today is very difficult for them. They're having to deal with the funeral arrangements for their son. So I would please ask out of respect that you not direct any questions to them at this point. I think all of us are asking the same question today, which is, what happened, what caused this tragic event to take place in our community? What we know is that David Silva encountered a sheriff's deputy who had a canine, and that there was an approximate 8-minute struggle, and at the end of that time, David Silva died. We know from some video that we've all seen that a number of deputies, including officers with the California Highway Patrol, inflicted several blows on David's body, and we all are asking the same question: why did this happen? What caused this to happen? And more importantly, where is the transparency with the Kern County Sheriff's Department? As I alluded to earlier, Sheriff Youngblood has said to all of us that he wants to have a culture of transparency in his department. What transparency is there when we look at the high-handed methods of the Sheriff's Department in essentially confiscating cell phones from neighbors who had peace of mind to video what was taking place at the time that David was being beaten? You know, we all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if the Sheriff's Department doesn't have anything to hide, why aren't we being shown these videos? Why were they confiscated in a way that suggests a cover-up? I had an opportunity to talk with a lawyer this morning who represents one of the individuals who had taken cell phone pictures or a video. And what I've learned is that once the Sheriff's Department found out that these videos existed, they used what I will mildly call strong-arm tactics to obtain these cell phones, and to the point where they essentially imprisoned these people in their own residences, wouldn't let them leave for many hours until they finally obtained a search warrant where they could confiscate these cell phones. What is there to hide? I mean, if the Sheriff's Department is truly transparent and these officers acted as they're supposed to act under color of law, and that they didn't use excessive force on David, then why aren't we all seeing these videos? And I think that's the question that all of us have to ask of this transparent Kern County Sheriff's Department. I find the conduct that I've heard thus far to be so above and beyond what is anything close to transparency in our government. And I think that's the question that all of us should be posing to this Sheriff's Department. I would invite all of you to go from here to Sheriff's Department headquarters and say to our sheriff, Why can't we see the videos? What is there about the videos that you don't want us to see? We all recognize that the Kern County Sheriff's Department will do their own internal investigation. Perhaps the California Highway Patrol will do their own internal investigation. Well, that's fine. But if they're to maintain the public's trust, then the best way to maintain that trust is to let us see the videos, to let us see what they've seen. It's not about trying to coerce witnesses. It's telling us the truth. These are sworn peace officers that are supposed to be protecting all of us. And is the Sheriff's Department protecting them because of something that they've done that the Sheriff's Department does not want us to see? I mean, I think those are the important questions. So I'll open it up to questions.
When you ask them to comment on the case or for the video, it's the same response every time, that it's under investigation, it's part of evidence, that's why they have it, they're not commenting, that it is part of the investigation. What do you say to that when that is their response every time?
Where's the transparency? What difference does it make? Granted, they're going to do their own internal investigation. I'll tell you my concern right now. I have sent letters to every law enforcement agency that I think could possibly be involved in this case, directing the responsible parties at the Sheriff's Department, the County Council, the county's lawyers, the Bakersfield Police Department, the California Highway Patrol, the city attorney. You know, we want to make sure that those videos are not destroyed. We want to make sure those videos are not altered. And that is a major concern on the part of this family. And it should be the concern on the part of our entire community. If there's nothing to hide, then show us the videos. If the videos exonerate the deputies, then so be it. But if the videos show that these deputies used excessive force above and beyond what they're allowed to do, then let the chips fall where they may. But our community and this grieving family is entitled to know the truth. And I say to the Sheriff's Department, what do you have to hide?
Is there a picture of David you could share?
I did not bring one.
No, but we can make one available for you.
Counsel, the autopsy was done yesterday by the Kern County Sheriff's Coroner's Office. We were told there was no information about that autopsy. Does the family have any information on that, so that is there more information out there that we can share with the public?
Carol, that's what makes this whole situation so tragic. The Sheriff's Department will not tell the family anything. I mean, the Sheriff's Department wouldn't even let Mr. and Mrs. Silva see their son until after they'd gone through the autopsy, which, as you may be able to appreciate, is not the best time that you would want to view your child. No, the Sheriff's Department has totally stonewalled this entire event.
So there's no more information regarding the autopsy that the family was given?
No, nothing.
What message does this send to the community? Do you think people are afraid of law enforcement or don't trust them because of this?
I'll tell you what it says to me. It says that, thank God, we have citizens who are willing to perhaps sacrifice their own security by taking videos of what was taking place in their neighborhood. I mean, it's a situation where the citizens are having to police the police. Imagine if these videos didn't exist. Imagine what the Sheriff's Department's own internal investigation would be able to do if we didn't have these videos. I mean, that's like the earlier question, well, is it good to have the Sheriff's Department investigate the sheriff's department. In this county, I would seriously question that. For instance, there was a case a few years ago where a man was beaten to death in the jail. That would have never come to light had there not been a deputy sheriff on duty who said enough is enough, and essentially turned in fellow officers and was later ostracized for having done that and was forced to take a disability retirement on stress from that sheriff's department because he dared to cross that, brotherhood of the blue line. So, no, I don't have any confidence that this department would necessarily, that the truth would necessarily come to light absent these videos. I mean, you saw kind of the same thing take place in an earlier case, I guess it was last year, at a convenience market. So, as I said, I mean, the citizens shouldn't have to be policing the police, but that's apparently what we have here.
Have you been retained by the family, and if so, are you going to file a motion to compel the release of the videos?
Absolutely. And yes, I do represent the family.
So that was gonna be my question too. The family has retained you, and so in what capacity and for what goal or?
Carol, we want to get to the bottom of this. All of you are just as hungry for the truth as we are. I mean, you have two grieving parents and a brother who are all asking, we're all asking the same questions. And I think the other concern I have is if these videos didn't show something that was in some way damaging or harmful to the sheriff's department, then why wouldn't they share them with the community? Why wouldn't they share them with the press? What is it that they think they have to hide? I mean, I've watched the news. I've seen what a number of you have reported. I mean, you've got one witness who apparently is in hiding and is fearing for his own life. Why is that taking place? I mean, is this Rodney King all over again, but in Kern County?
Since we know so little about this, does David have any health issues? I'm just trying to, we know so little about what happened then. I'm looking for any other.
I can tell you that David had high blood pressure. And, would take medication for high blood pressure. I mean, I've heard reports that he was intoxicated. I've heard reports he wasn't intoxicated. I don't know. Now, I am confident of this. I do know that, in general, the doctors that performed the autopsy are going to accurately record what they find or what they found. The toxicology report, when that is released, I mean, they are generally accurate. And I will assume that the sheriff's department and the coroner's office, that they've preserved, for instance, blood samples so that if the family chose on their own to perform their own toxicological examination, will be given the opportunity to do that. So at least I have some confidence that in terms of what the pathologist found will be accurately recorded. But how the sheriff's department is going to portray what occurred that night, I don't know.
And besides the sheriff investigation, is there an independent investigation?
Well, there will be by us, as much as we, can to talk to witnesses. And I know that John Teo, who has been retained by at least one, if not two, of the citizens who had cell phones who took videos, is looking into protecting the rights of those clients that he may represent.
Just gonna take two more questions.
What were the circumstances of that evening? Why was he there? Where was he coming from?
No, I don't know.
What will the motion say and when do you plan on filing it?
Well, as I said, I've already sent letters to all of the responsible governmental agencies, letting them know, number one, I represent the family. Number two, we, we want you to preserve what evidence you've gathered, in particular, videos on those cell phones. And that will be more formalized in a court document, perhaps probably next week.
Done locally, sir?
Well, that's a good question, because this case will absolutely be filed in federal district court, Carol, because, again, this is a violation of David's civil rights, so it'll be filed in federal district court in Fresno.
Any closing remarks, David, and then we'll be done.
Again, I think I'd simply go back to what I stated earlier. Sheriff Youngblood said in the case involving the sexual assaults that he wants to have a culture of transparency in the Kern County Sheriff's Department. Well, if you, Sheriff Youngblood, are really being honest and it's really your intention to create this culture of transparency, then where are the videos? And I'll end it, and I'll end my remarks there. Thank you all very much.
Thank